Oh, welcome back to another episode where my love for cinema is put through the ringer, and today, folks, we're diving into the abyss of what some people dare to call a classic, Steven Spielberg's adaptation of The Color Purple. Now, I'll try to contain my angst, but no promises when we're dealing with a film that barbarically attempts to encapsulate the complexities of African American women's life in the early 20th century with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. First off, Spielberg, the maverick of sentimental fluff, takes a story ripe with potential for stark realism and raw emotion and turns it into a melodramatic soup, overflavored with his trademark saccharine aesthetic. Spielberg, are you directing an introspective historical drama or an extended episode of Little House on the Prairie? Make up your mind for the love of cinema. Now let's talk performances. Whoopi Goldberg as Saley, in what parallel dimension does this casting decision make sense? Are you truly expecting me to buy into her growth from a subdued victim of abuse to a beaming powerhouse of self realization when every emotion feels as manufactured as a knockoff Gucci handbag sold on the streets of Hollywood Boulevard? Casting aside, let's dive into the scenic travesty that unfolds over 2.5 hours. Take, for instance, the dinner table scene where Saley finally stands up to Mister. Here we had a golden ticket, a moment of epiphany, the crux of empowerment, and what do we get? An orchestral burst so grandiose it would make John Philip Sousa cringe. The subtlety of the moment is bludgeoned by the bombastic score. It's like listening to a symphony while someone's doing the dishes in the background. Clatter, clatter, emotional peak ruined. And don't even get me started on Spielberg's heavy-handed use of color symbolism. Oh yes, let's dress Shug in red to scream passion and desire so loud that even the colorblind members of the audience send out an SOS. I half expected the characters to break the fourth wall, lean in, and whisper, "Get it? She's wearing red because she's the embodiment of sexual liberation." Cinematically speaking, let's discuss the absolute abandonment of visual subtlety. A master like Kurosawa would have wept at the mundane shot composition. Where's the depth, the layers? Instead, we get close ups that all but nose kiss the characters and landscapes shot in such bright, overexposed light I feared I'd get a sunburn. Now you might say, but it's based on an acclaimed novel. It must have some redeeming qualities. Novel? Oh, you mean the Pulitzer Prize winning piece of literature that Spielberg decided to cherry pick like a toddler at a salad bar? Yes, let's water down Alice Walker's narrative, ignore the profound social critiques, and focus on turning cultural tragedy into cinematic cotton candy. And before I forget, let's address the film's pacing, or should I say, the aimless wandering of a narrative that couldn't find a cohesive rhythm if it had a metronome. The book's episodic format turns into an excruciating game of connect the dots, where each scene screams for attention with the tact of a soap opera cliffhanger. In conclusion, viewers, The Color Purple is nothing short of a complete desecration of the film medium, a movie that takes complex source material and utilizes it with the care of a bull in a china shop. Spielberg managed to do the unimaginable, make an emotionally charged historical narrative as impactful as a wet paper towel. And yet the Academy heralded it with 11 Oscar nominations. Bravo, Hollywood. So until next time, when I subject myself to another egregiously overrated flick for your masochistic viewing pleasure, stay cynical, question everything, and for the love of all that is art, save yourselves from the drudgery that is the mainstream cinema machine. Goodbye, and good riddance.